everything changes.
Hey, welcome everybody to the Rockstarflipper YouTube channel. Today is January the 15th, 2021. It's a new year, and that means it is time to start talking about taxes from 2020. Whew, we're done with that year, only to the point where we're done with that year. We still have to take care of the financial side of it. So who better to take care of our financial side of it than Mr. Mark II, not your dad's CPA. That's the guy. Say hello, Mark.
Hey everybody, happy to be here again
every year. So we've turned to Mark for the last couple of years. He is a licensed CPA. So tell us a little bit about your background and your past so everyone knows just what it is that you do.
Yes, I mean, I've been a CPA for over 10 years now. The first part of that 10 years, I was in public accounting and corporate finance. And then the last few years, I've been more on my own doing the typical CPA thing, specializing more in tax stuff. And also, I sell on Amazon on the side, and I specialize in e-commerce.
E-commerce. And so that's what's really important to take note of, guys. Mark is a seller himself. So he actually understands the questions that all of you are going to ask, including me. Let me tell you, I bug Mark probably once a month for some random question. In fact, I just bugged him yesterday over a state sales tax question. He's got
I can show you.
Yeah, so which is hilarious because the answer is always Florida is lagging behind. I promise you most of the questions I asked him were about Florida. Go figure. You guys insert Florida joke here, but it's true. So he's knowledgeable. He knows what he's doing with e-com because he's a seller. If you're not a seller, people don't understand, right?
I mean, if you're not a seller or you don't have like dozens or hundreds of seller clients.
Right, yeah. So yeah, so having that experience will really help you guys out. So we want to talk about some of the common questions. We want to talk about some of the new questions, and we're going to cover stimulus. I got those emails and messages from a lot of people, so we're going to touch on that. And then we're going to talk about how Mark can help you this year to not only get whatever you have from 2020 ready, because some of you are in a good position, some of you are not in a good position. So we're going to try to get you in a better position. And we're going to also help you to set up 2021 so you don't end the year at the same point that you ended this year if you're not in a good position. So a lot of taxes, I think this is appropriate. I saw it from someone. Taxes are 90% prep and 10% execution. Does that seem right?
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. I think I'm going to steal that because that's kind of what I try. And people asking me if my products are about how to prepare your tax return. I'm like, no. It's more the other stuff, but that's a good line.
Yeah, it's prepping for the whole year. I'll tell you the easiest, people always, like the question I get is, what is the easiest way to handle this? Prepare, be ready, stop waiting till the last minute. Don't wait until April 14th to think you're just gonna file something away with the IRS. Don't be me. So I'm the worst at that. But yeah, I mean, I tend to think I keep pretty good records through the year. So we're gonna show you the best ways to do that and the best ways and what you need and what numbers are important, all that sort of stuff that Mark can help you with. So I just, right before we came on live, I talked about it with stimulus. I know a lot of people are getting stimulus, and I want to cover this because many people don't watch their whole video. So let's just touch on it very first. Stimulus checks. Last year, 2020, I didn't get one, but as far as I understand, individuals that made less than $75,000 were entitled to $1,200 checks. Somebody fact check me on that.
Single filers, I think.
Single filers, 1,200. Married couples up to 24.
I believe so. And in the threshold was 150, I think.
Up to 150,000 total income, and then for every child up to I think 3 children was 600 per child. I don't know if you could claim past 3 children. I could be wrong.
You could.
Was it past 3?
Yeah.
Was there a limit or was it no limit?
I don't know if there was a limit. I don't know.
It was 600. Yeah. So I don't have kids, guys. Sorry. I'm bad at this. So I know it was 600 per kid. I don't know if there was a limit. There may not have been. But anyways, I had somebody email me who was a family of 4. So I'm assuming that was $3,600, 24 for the couple. They made like 120 grand combined. And I think the husband made like 75 and the wife made like 40 or 50. So, and then they had 2 kids. So 1,200 more. So 3,600. And the question that we always get, do you have to report that stimulus payment on your taxes as income that you earned during the 2020 year?
Yeah. So, and I should say I'm not an expert on this. Like some CPAs like really tried to specialize in the PPP loans and the stimulus checks and stuff. I had plenty of other work to do where I was like, I'm not really going to bother with that. But I think I can, I know the basics. So, yeah, you will have to report it on your taxes, but it's not taxable because a lot of people, should have received a check, but didn't, because
Right.
maybe the government couldn't find them or whatever. So they're going to be made whole through their 2020 tax return in the form of a tax credit.
So yeah, so there were some people I saw that either their direct deposit information wasn't right, or I saw some change of addresses. There's all, right now, if you try to mail Rockstarflipper or anything, I'm not getting any of it, I promise you. So people between addresses. So if you didn't actually get the money, then it is a tax credit for you. So that I did see, and that's a great point, because I know some people are going to say, I never got my money. And if you didn't, then you're going to get that off of whatever your normal taxable deductions. Now they're going to have to put that in. Is there like a category, or how does that work?
I haven't even gotten that far. I know, yeah, there's going to be like a separate form. I don't know if you're using TurboTax or something, it'll ask you those questions.
Yep.
But if you did receive a payout, you still have to put it in there because it's going to say, okay, you should have gotten this. You did get this. So you're good. No credit.
Right. Yeah. So I think H&R Block, just short story. My mom was an H&R Block liaison to the IRS for like 13 years. Their software, which I'm really familiar with, is going to ask that question. She sent me some screenshots from their 2021. People are already filing their taxes. Mind blowing to me, because I'm never ready by now. But there are some people that have done it. They took some screenshots. They sent my mom, and small businesses, they're not resellers, but they're small businesses. And it did ask them, did you receive your stimulus 2020, et cetera? And they just checked the boxes. It's pretty easy. And any CPA that you go to, or if you go to TurboTax or H&R, they should have that like ready to go for you. So that should be either a tax credit, or you'll just tell the IRS that you got the money and it won't count against you.
Exactly.
That's interesting, because I read stuff last year where people were saying, yeah, that's going to come back on you on the taxes. And I was like, why would they give it to you if they're just going to take it back? Like, that doesn't seem reasonable to me. Like, I didn't get the money, but even to me, I'm like, the people that needed it, like, they got it and then they got to give it back.
Well, and for some people, it was based on your 2019 return information, but some people hadn't filed 2019. So in that case, it went off their 2018.
Right.
So then they're like, well, what if I went by 2018, but by 2019 standards, I didn't qualify? Am I going to have to pay that back?
Yeah, that happened too. Yeah, because remember, they extended for everyone watching, they extended the tax cutoff to July, but a lot of the stimulus payments went out way before that, April or May. So they were sending out payments based on the previous, not on what you were filing there. So then if you filed like, oh, all of a sudden, let's say I made $60,000 the year before, but now this year I made $90,000, you were over that threshold. So it was either less or no money. Yeah. So they were like, am I going to have to pay that back? But I think the government let that go. They based it on whatever year it was.
Right. Well, yeah, even if technically they got more than they should have, everything I've heard says you're not going to have to pay anything back.
Yeah, they're just letting that go. That's what I saw too. So that's a good point.
Yep.
Okay, so I know that was the most important question. Tons of people asked me the stimulus. Let's go back to the basics. We covered that. So 2020, that's what you're going to be reporting right now. Business tax. Two big questions we get. One is about the self-employment, which you talked about right before we came on here. And then the second one is about quarterly estimated taxes. Probably the single most question I got entirely last year was quarterly federal estimated taxes. So I'm going to mention the self-employment tax. Correct me if I'm wrong. It is 15.3%. 15.3%.
Yep.
As a self-employed individual, you still have to contribute to our FICA, which is Medicare, Medicaid, and to the federal, is it like unemployment, or some places call it reemployment?
Mostly Social Security, Medicare.
Social Security, Medicare. Is it the unemployment is state by state?
Right. Yep.
Yeah. So the federal is Social Security and Medicare for you. It's 15.3%. If you're using a TurboTax or an H&R Block, it will estimate that for you. I filed my taxes through H&R Block a bunch of times, and it tells you, here's your 15.3%. You paid $7,000, whatever. That is your portion of it. When you are an employee, a W-2, when you get your paycheck and you see those deductions, that's what they're taking the money out for. It's your portion of, everyone has to contribute to that, because when you get to be, what's the cutoff? 62, 64?
62, I think.
62, yeah. When you get old, sorry, Mom, I know.
Ouch.
Yeah, sorry, Mom. When you get to be that age, when you get to be experienced, then you get to start reaping the benefits of everything that you have put in. If you didn't put anything in, why should you get it out, right? So you have to put it in, and that's what we take on self-employment is 15.3%, and that will automatically be calculated if you use one of these softwares into it. You'll see it. You'll see a line-by-line breakdown. But the second question is federal quarterly estimated. So I'm going to let you cover that a little bit for everyone.
Yes, I think the easiest way to think about it is, like you mentioned, if you have a W-2 job and your employer is deducting your federal income taxes, your state income tax, they're actually, they're deducting that from every paycheck, and they're remitting that to the government throughout the year. And then if they withheld too much or too little, then that's what you pay at the end of the year when you do your taxes. Mm-hmm. But when you're self-employed, there's nobody sending your taxes to the government on your behalf throughout the year unless you do it. So then you have to figure out, okay, am I actually at a point where I'm required to do that or not? And the rules are, they're not really intuitive. It can be kind of confusing, but the basic rule is, like, if you plan to owe over $1,000 at the end of the year, then you should potentially be making estimated payments. The exception is if you've already paid or had withheld an amount equal to or greater than your tax liability from the prior year.
Right. So just to give everyone just what he just said, which is not a lot of money. It's only $1,000. That's $250 a quarter. So if you expect that you're going to make enough money in profit, in taxable income, to owe $1,000, which honestly, even after deductions and expenses, you don't have to make a ton of money to owe $1,000. I don't know what the numbers would be. Everyone's different, but it's not a ton. You should at least be making the IRS a quarterly payment of that $250. Now, if you're somebody who's making $500,000, you should be making significantly higher payments. So I'll just give you an example. Last year, or what would have been the year before, for me, my taxable income was, I think, $192,000. And so based on at the time, was like a 28% tax bracket. It's changed a little bit in the last 2 years. But on $192,000, 28% tax bracket was me owing 53 grand. Now I had deductions and all the other stuff. So I think it came to $30,000 was what I ended up owing. So based on that, my quarterly tax payments should have been somewhere in the $6,000, $7,000 range, something to keep me up to process. I actually sent the IRS like $5,000 every quarter, which was like, I think I sent them $21,000. And when the bill came due, I owed like 13 grand or something. And everyone remembers the video I wrote the check to the IRS for like 13 or 15 grand or whatever it was. But if I had gone the whole year without paying them, I would have had to pay them like $30-some thousand. The IRS doesn't want you to owe a bill for $30-some thousand. Two reasons. One, they love to get your money in when they can, because trust me, they're using it. And two, they don't want somebody to have a bill due at the end of the year for $30,000, $40,000 and go, oh, can't pay it, sorry. And then they got to wait for bill payments and this and that. They'd rather just collect it during the year. And then when it comes due, you're like, oh, it's just 10 grand. Sure, here you go. So that's kind of like their prepayment plan collection. I hate it. I don't like prepaying anyone, but it's a rule. If you don't do it, so Mark may know this number, I would completely be guessing. There is some kind of penalty if you don't prepay them and you owe over $1,000.
Right. Yeah. If you don't make estimated payments, yeah. I don't know. And it depends how they calculate it, but yeah, there could potentially be penalties and interest.
I want to say I saw, this is total guess, but like 5% a month or something, or 0.05. It's
0.5% per month, I think.
Yeah, 0.5% per month. So it can get, if you only owe them $1,000 or $2,000, it may not be devastating. But if you owe 20 or 30 grand, it could be a significant amount of money. So don't allow them to fine you, because if they fine you, then they're going to start charging you interest as well. So just keep any money you owe the IRS is interest. I promise you. So keep that in mind. So if you have a business, you're self-employed, and you expect to owe $1,000, please make quarterly payments. Let me tell you how easy it is. The IRS has an online payment portal. You can log in. You can sign up with your Social Security, your EIN, give them all your information. They'll give you a PIN number that you can log in with, and then you can click make a payment to the IRS. If you owe an outstanding federal payment, great, I'll make my payment. I just did it. Or you can click make federal estimated quarterly payment. And it's literally just going to tell you, what is your estimated gross payment for the quarter? What do you want to make a payment to us for? Bloop, bloop, bloop. Connect bank account. Bloop, bloop, bloop. Done. Literally 5 minutes, you can make them a payment and you're done. You can say, I'm going to pay you $1,000. Done deal. At the end of the year, if you paid them too much, they will refund you just like anyone else. If you underpaid, they'll give you the bill for whatever the balance is and you're all set. No fines. You made your quarterly. Not making quarterly payments, this could be a myth. I've heard will and can flag audits because they want to know why you're not making them quarterly payments. Like, what do you have to hide? What are you doing? My mom already said people that went 10 years without making that, the IRS finally noticed. And she said they sent them a bill and a fine. Like, here's your 0.5% fine. But, oh, by the way, while we're at it, we're going to audit you because you chose not to do this. What do you have to hide? I can't confirm that, but look, the IRS is not going to be happy about it.
Yeah. And that's a good point. Like, a lot of people ask me if I can help with their quarterly taxes because they think they have to like file their taxes quarterly. And I always say, no, there's no filing involved. You can literally just go on to the payments website and make a payment in a couple minutes. And then they're like, oh, okay, I could probably do that. Yep.
So, which is a huge reason why you should be, I got these people that are like, oh, I do my taxes once a year. I'm like, ugh. I'm like, what? Like, I have to know what I'm making month by month. Are you that person? You're a CPA, so it's hard to ask you, but are you that person that wants to know, like, what am I making every month?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, I want to know for myself, but also for tax reasons, because I have to make estimated payments as well.
Right. So this is those people that wait the year, like you need to know every month, or at least every 3 months. I do have a friend that makes very good money. He's a $200,000-$300,000 a year guy that does it once a quarter. I'm like, okay, I understand that. It's not terrible. At least I need to do it month by month, but at least every quarter where you can say I can make my estimated taxes and I know where I'm at. If you don't know where you're at, how do you know you're making money? How do you know what you're doing is working? Am I confused? I don't understand.
That's one of my core messages to people. Everybody thinks they should be keeping track for tax purposes only, but I'm like, no, if you want to be a serious business person, you should be looking at your profitability minimum monthly, like you're saying.
Yep. And I just did a video the other night about like some people sell on, say, 4 or 5 platforms. And some of those platforms they think are making money, but they're not actually really making any money. Or another platform, they're making great money and they're diverting attention away from, and I'm like, you need to know what each place is making you money and how much, so you know what is working and what isn't working. Taxes are the obvious, like don't go to jail, don't collect $200, but you've got to know for yourself and your business how to get better and how, what platforms work, what platforms don't, where your attention is best spent. And, I think a lot of people look at even you, Mark, and me, and they're like, oh, they just want to tax this. No, it's for the better of your business, period.
Yeah, I mean, I've worked with several people where I've like updated their bookkeeping or whatever, and like Amazon sellers making hundreds of thousands in sales per year. But Amazon, if you're doing FBA, they take out huge amounts of fees, and in some cases they've actually had losses throughout the year, and they're like, "Oh, I thought I was making money, but I guess
they didn't even know it." They didn't even know it.
Yeah,
yeah. So that's one of the reasons. We're not just look. If you don't know your numbers, it doesn't hurt me or Mark. At the end of the year, it doesn't hurt us. It only hurts you. So we're not just saying this to get you in tax line. We're saying this to help your business, to help you improve what you're doing. So consider that. I want to talk about, I do want to jump right in since I don't want to go too far, but the 2021 Reseller Tax Academy. So this is what Mark offers. He is a CPA. He has the ability. I can't give you the tax advice and information that he can give you. So for me, the only option I have is to pass you along to somebody that can. And that's where Mark comes in. If you're ready to not worry about this anymore, I think, and please touch on this as you describe your tax academy. I think people have a fear of actually doing it, seeing it, knowing it, paying it, not paying it, whatever it is. They have a fear. A fear is like the overwhelming, in today's world, fear is crazy. So talk about that, and talk about how the Reseller Academy is going to eliminate that fear and get them right where they should be.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the biggest byproducts, I guess, of going through. So I mean, it's called Reseller Tax Academy. It's my online course, video modules and lessons and stuff. But yeah, the main purpose is, like you said earlier, it's taxes are 10% like tax preparation and 90% planning, right? Is that how you said it?
Yeah, like 90% planning and prep and like 10% executing, like actually doing it.
Yeah, like doing your taxes.
If you have all your numbers and your prep ready, doing it's easy.
Right. Yeah, and so people have asked me, like, is this course going to show me how to do my taxes? And I'm like, no, it's not going to show you like what numbers to put in what fields, because that's not really going to benefit you. You can't come to your CPA if you use a tax preparer at the end of the year and say, okay, here's all my stuff. Now, I'm hoping you can save me a ton of money. They'll be like, well, I might be able to do a few things, but most of the damage is already done. That's the kind of thing that needs to start on January 1st, at the beginning of the year. What type of business entity should you organize? Like what, types of deductions should you be aware of? Like all these different things that are really like day-to-day decisions that you should be making that are going to help you optimize your overall situation. So that's kind of the goal. And then, when you have that basic education about that stuff you should be doing, that's what helps you just like have that sense of relief and just let all the anxiety and uncertainty go, which a surprising amount of people feel with regard to taxes.
The anxiety, I wish I could, I'm going to have to screenshot just for Mark's like own files, like the messages that I get where people are freaking out. I'm talking like March 30th, April 1st, like the freak out messages are, I don't exaggerate this at all. And it's mind boggling to me where they're, I get the people that are like, I haven't done anything all year. Okay, great. Like that. But then I get the people that are like, they've done stuff, but they're just stuck at one point and they don't know. And they're like, oh my God, I'm having an anxiety attack because I don't know how this works. And they just want this. There's so many different things to work on. Like you have to work your way through that. And, Mark is put together a pretty good step-by-step that will get you through 99.8% of all those steps to make sure you have, everyone's going to have questions. Even I have questions. I just told you guys, I messaged Mark and I'm like, hey, the world's falling in. Can you help? And he's just like, okay, like, let's go over it. But if you are done 99.8% of it, your stress and your anxiety over the rest of the year will be gone. I promise you, once you have an understanding of it, it's not as bad as it sounds. If I was a new seller coming in, I'd be like, this is the worst thing ever. But once you understand it and you have somebody help you through it, it's not that bad. It's like, okay, I get this now. I understand. Let me work on this. So, and that fear goes away. People are like, oh my God, I thought I was going to owe the IRS like 20 grand. Now I owe them 2,000. Hey, that's not bad. Like, let's do it. So yeah, Mark's not going to like file your taxes for you, but he's going to show you how to get together all the numbers that you need in order to do that. And that's what the important part is, because everyone's numbers and situation is different. And that's why we can't give everyone the same answer.
Right. And I could file your taxes for you if you want, but that's not what the course is for.
No, look, if you message Mark and you're really nice to him and you take care of him, then maybe he'll handle that for you. By the way, yeah. Do I get that service?
Hey,
he's like, I don't want nothing to do with yours. No.
It is crazy though. Like you said, if people didn't send me the messages they did, I might think that had I heard it from somewhere else that they were exaggerating. But people have like told me that they literally lose sleep over taxes, and I'm like, and I've taken surveys, and I'm just like, wow, I guess it really is a big stress inducer out there.
It is. People start a business, and God love them. I'm happy for all of you that want to go entrepreneur and do your own thing. But, I think back to many years ago, thank God I had a mentor that is a big business owner that was able to help me. And I had a CPA here in Florida, you're familiar with him, Paul DeLeo, who was able to answer quite a few questions for me over the years. And thank God I had that, because otherwise I would have been a complete train wreck. I assure you, there's a chance I'd probably owe several entities more money than I could dream of because I had no idea what I was doing. And I think back to those years, 2010, 2011, where I'm like, man, if I didn't have those people, where would I have gone? Who would I have turned to? Like, what would I have done? And so I'm happy that we're able to, offer a service to people and an academy that they can come to. They don't have to freak out and sit in bed at night and get crazy. Because a lot of my emails, no kidding, I swear I should pull these, 3 a.m., 2 a.m., 4 a.m. And I can tell that the people are having like a breakdown because the hours of the day that I get those messages, I'm like, it's not middle of the day work time. It's middle of the night. And I can tell they're losing sleep over it. So hopefully this will help all of you. So tell us what all is included with the Academy and let me know. So this video is going to post, we're actually recording this on Friday, January 15th, but you guys are going to see this on Tuesday, January 19th?
Yep.
Tuesday, January the 19th, which is going to be the official open day for Mark's Reseller Tax Academy. So when you see this video Tuesday afternoon, I'm going to launch it probably in the middle of the afternoon. That is when the links below will be open for you to click and sign up. But tell us what's included, what the cost is, the discounts, all the specials. Just run us through that so everyone knows exactly what they're getting. Yeah, so it's normally the base price is $349, but it's going to be $100 off during that late part of January. For just the entire 8 or 9 day promotion, it's going to be discounted, but the first 3 days is going to be that early bird pricing of $100 off. So that's when you want to jump in there. But then, yeah, you get access to my private Facebook group that goes along with the course. It's called the Reseller Tax Academy Facebook group. We do live Q&A sessions in there. It's lifetime access for the lifetime of the course. You get access to all enhancements and updates that I do. Taxes change, so I can't just leave it as is. I have to go in there and like update stuff, which can be annoying, but that's the commitment I've made. Yep. So yeah, it's got nine modules, each with its own separate video lessons. Goes through all the basics. It's geared toward resellers, all the different types of tax. Where the taxes come from. Deductions. What to do, how to deal with the IRS, like what to do with receipts, like all those questions you've had. That's what inspired me to create a course, because I was answering the same Facebook comments over and over and over, and there's only so much detail you can give without like giving a deeper explanation or saying like it depends so many times. So yeah. That's true. That's true. We always say it sounds so cliche, but everyone's situation is different. And unfortunately, that's true. Some people are single, some people are married, some people have kids, some people have mortgages, some people don't, some people make 100 grand, some people make 10 grand. It all depends. So this is where you get to kind of put your own situation into it and figure it out for what you have going on. I see the same Facebook questions where people are like, do I have to claim X with X? Well, it depends. What do you got going on? So yeah, we've answered those questions a lot. For sure. Yeah. So that's just to remind you, that's $100 off. His $349 price is $249. So that's going to run the 19th. This is going to launch Tuesday the 19th, Wednesday the 20th, and Thursday the 21st. Yep. And so we'll run that link until the 21st, probably until in the nighttime. And do they get the Facebook group? They get the course. They get pretty much everything with that, right? Yeah. So you'll have the full thing, everything you need. And then if you decide to wait and you're a procrastinator, the price is going to go up. So sign up in the first 3 days. I promise you won't regret it. 19th, 20th, 21st of January. Use the link below. It'll be down there. That's my link. It'll go right to Mark. It'll tell him that I sent you, so everyone will be good to go. And then if you're watching this video and it's after the 21st, there will be some other promotions from the 22nd on, which will be goes from $249 to $299. It won't be as heavily discounted. Yeah, not as heavily. So make sure that it'll still be discounted. Yeah, so make sure you get in early. Otherwise, you're going to pay a little more. But if you happen to see this video after it, then you can still sign up. You still get a little bit of a discount, and it'll still be worth, still a discount is a discount. You're getting great money. It's on sale. And you can sign up still. Again, the link below will be the same link no matter when you sign up, but that will send you right to his website, right to his sign up, and it will tell him that you sent me. So, and let him know that you love the program afterwards. Reviews are awesome. You know, after you get everything taken care of, I'm sure he appreciates that. And if you have any reviews, questions, comments, concerns, catastrophes, no catastrophes, please, but anything you need, Mark has customer service support on there. Direct way to get to you.
Sure.
Yep. And yeah, and if you need anything, you can send it to me and I can forward it to Mark, however you need to get a hold of us. But I've ran through it. It's pretty clear cut. I think it's pretty easy even for beginners to handle from beginner, because there's some people that are still, so I get this question a lot. It's for beginners. It's geared a lot for beginners. But what about people that sort of know what they're doing, but just have some questions here and there? So what about that level?
Yeah, I mean, unless you're like dealing with this stuff every day, it's definitely going to fill in some gaps and like bring things together. It's always good to have a refresher, and I guarantee there's things in there that you probably weren't aware of, even if you're like an intermediate seller, unless you're like a tax person.
Unless you are a CPA. Yeah. So last year I ran through the course. Obviously, I work with Mark, so I get to look at it. I ran through it, and there was quite a few things where I was like, hey, I don't know that. I'm not a CPA. So I look at it, I'm like, okay. So there's always stuff that, you know, and I'm the king. Everyone knows I'm the king of digital notepads. So I take notes on everything. I actually have so I have like a Mark II note.
Nice.
In case you were wondering. And it's, you know, it's all the links and videos and things that you and I have done in case anyone asks. And then it's all the notes I've taken from what I learned from going through your course last year. So yeah, so I have that whole thing. So you can take those same notes, and it answers a lot of questions. Beginner, advanced, intermediate, there's a lot of stuff for everyone. So if you want to do it, please don't hesitate. Use the link below. If you have questions before or after, you know, reach out to me, rockstarflipper@gmail.com, or use Mark's customer service email. It's on the course. I'm sure there's like one click or something. You can click on it.
Yep.
So you'll see it once you sign up. But let us know, reviews. We appreciate that as well. But 19th, 20th, and 21st, you'll be watching this video on the 19th. Please, please, please don't wait till the price goes up. You'll regret it later because you'll want this. And if you're a beginner and you need to get your stuff in line, like this is the way to do it. Where else are you going to get an actual online Amazon seller, which I've seen his boxes go out. I've seen his pictures from his house and his move and all of his inventory. So I promise you he's selling on Amazon, and actually a licensed CPA for the last decade. So he's going to give you the answers. And look, there's been a few times he's even told me, hey, look, I don't know 100% the answer. Let me go look it up for you and I get back to you. So he's open sometimes for research missions.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, some people might say like, well, you know, all that stuff is out there. Like you can look up all this stuff on irs.gov if you want. But you know, from the feedback I've received, it's a lot simpler, and it's geared toward you know, the e-commerce reseller business person. And it's, yeah, people have told me that it's pretty clear and really, really helpful. So
yeah, it was very easy to read through. irs.gov is, you know, I've been on it 1,000 times. It's not e-com. The IRS doesn't know whether you're a cosmetologist or e-com seller. Their stuff is general. It's very general. So a lot of the specific questions or concerns that you have are not going to appear on irs.gov, I assure you. You know, I spent my time on there. It just doesn't happen. So I go to irs.gov, I renew my EIN, I get my printout, and I move on, or I make them my payments. That's about the only extent that I use their website for. So this will help you guys. It simplifies it. It's definitely clear, written, concise. Everyone knows I read websites nonstop. That's all I do at night is I scroll through. I read your website. Literally, I read your website probably at midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning. That's me time. That's when I get to read through websites. My dogs go to sleep, the wrecking crew, my fiance goes to sleep. Everyone is not emailing me or messaging me. So I have like me. I'm like, all right, tonight's Mark's site. Like, let's go through it. And that's when I can focus. I'm awake. Like midnight to 2 is my awake time. And so it was easy. It was very, you know, clear, concise. It's you put a lot of work into the website too. So it looks good through the program. It's got individual sections, so you can go to the section that you need. You can start and finish at your own pace, right? You can do it on your own time.
Yep.
And right now, you know, this is the biggest thing. It's January 15th. You're going to watch this video on January 19th. You've got plenty of time. But the last thing I always hear from everyone is, I had plenty of time and now it's April 1st. Don't wait until it's April 1st and you're trying to rush through everything. Like, don't try to slam everything into the last week or two. It is silly. It is counterproductive. Do it now and get it done. It feels so good. Don't be me. I'm the worst at it, but I have my own reasons. But do what you're going to do in January and February, and you're done with it. And you don't have to say on April 1st, like, oh my God, what am I going to do? Is that like bad thinking? Look, the reason my thing is a protest where I don't like giving the government money early. I have to pay taxes every single year, and a lot of taxes. I pay thousands of dollars. So I'm always like, I get my numbers done. Don't let anyone fool you. My numbers are ready. I just don't actually write the check until like April 14th. That's my little mini government protest.
Right.
But other than that, I do have my numbers. My accounting is done. I've ran through everything. So please get it ready and get it done, and don't wait. You have plenty of time. Again, January 15th, January 19th, when you read this, watch this, and you'll be all set. You can do this if you're, for most of my sellers, probably just a day or two of work. Really, they watch your course and they can have it done pretty quick.
Yeah. I mean, you could do a few minutes a day. You could do like half hour a day. You could get through it.
Yep. And that's the point. Don't overwhelm yourself and try to cram it into the last day. If you do a little bit at a time, I always tell everyone, I do all of my accounting. I try to put a little bit in every day or every other day. At the worst, I let it go 4 or 5 days. I'll do a week or whatever, and I'll put it in. And I'm never, whenever my fiance will tell you, if I'm like, oh, I have to do accounting, she's like, oh, what do you need? Like 30 minutes or an hour? Done. So if you keep up on it, you'll be happy. Everything will be good. So don't wait. Get it. Link below. Get Mark to help you. He'll be there for you. We'll be there for you. And you won't have to stress and freak out at 3 o'clock in the morning and email us anymore. So good. So, all right. If there's any questions, comments, concerns, catastrophes, leave it in the comment section below or email me and I'll send it to Mark. Otherwise, the link is there for you. It is now officially open today. Sign up. Make sure you do it in the next 3 days. You'll get that deep $100 discount on the course. You'll get everything you need and the private Facebook group where you can also network and talk to everyone and questions and all that. Mark, is there anything that we have to add to that to make sure everyone's covered?
I don't think so. I think we covered it.
Yeah, you're pretty easy. Like, you're one of the easiest people I have to interview. So it's like, you got to do your taxes, guys. You can't get out of this. Like, let's get it straight. Let's get it together. And Mark will help you. And if there's anything else, so I think Mark is one of the easiest interviews. So, and I kept him late, so I apologize. Thank him for his time and his efforts. He'll answer questions. He's available to me at least as much as we need. And once you sign up, he'll be there for you 100% of the time. So we'll leave you guys with that. We appreciate everyone. I appreciate Mark, myself, more than you know, because he's always, no matter how annoying my questions are, he's there. And those of you that are in Florida, just a side note, those of you that are in Florida filing sales tax, if a platform collected sales tax for you, there is nowhere to put it. Message me and I'll tell you what we talked about. Okay, so I'll leave everyone with that. Thank you, Mark, a million times over. You're the best. Don't ever let me tell you otherwise. I'm probably going to have to pay you for something I need going forward too, by the way. So.
Sounds good. We'll talk.
All right. Thank you, sir. And until next time, everyone, thank you so much. And again, Mark's links are below, and we'll see you in the next video. Have a wonderful evening.